Here with fatherhood expert Eric Legette. For the past 20 years, he has been the president, founder of Fathers with Voices, and is the author of the book 10 Warning Signs: Is Your Date a Deadbeat or Deadly? So talk about your work with Fatherhood with Voices and what inspired you to write the book.
Well, I started Fathers with Voices in 1996, and the program has worked with separated divorced fathers that are involved in child support, visitation, and custody cases. And what we do is we provide consultation and referrals and resources, and the program has been very instrumental in helping men to obtain their visitation rights and joint custody and joint legal custody, as well as custody of their children over the past 20 years.
That's excellent. And I've been reading the book, and one of the things I like about it is you make it clear that the majority of men are responsible, but it's a small percentage that don't want to take responsibility. What are some of the reasons you've seen men claim for not being involved in the lives of their children?
A lot of it to me is just immaturity. There's a maturation process that I believe all men go through. And I think with some men, they go through it a little bit later. And I would say, you know, between the ages of 25 to 30, we as men, a lot of men, we start to think long term in terms of, okay, you know, she's beautiful, so on and so forth, but can she help me aspire to reach my goals and my dreams? And I think a lot of it is selfishness. It's some of the things that I write about in the book. It's selfishness, is immaturity, and just don't want to be accountable for their actions, which is the reason why I ended up writing the book.
Yeah, and one of the things I really like about it is that you point out that you're not, like, you know what I mean, and stuff, talking about, like, you know, specifically African American men, because, like, I think like a lot of times and stuff, everything, we become like the poster children,
Sure.
like absentee fathers. But it's like
Sure.
you're making it clear that this is about you know, all cultures and all races.
This has nothing to do with race. This is a character thing. This has nothing to do with race, because I've helped men from all different types of backgrounds, be it race, be it economical backgrounds, and this has to do with character. And one of the things that started to really disturb me and led me to writing this book is I would have men contact my program and basically just say, well, you know, I'm in a situation, the woman is pregnant, but I told her when we were dating in the beginning stages, I didn't want any children. So listen to that statement. I mean, you and I are men. We both went to sex ed classes in middle school.
Right.
And I don't remember them looking at us and saying, well, boys, if you don't want children, just tell the girl or the young lady you don't want any children, and she's not going to get pregnant. I mean, did your teacher tell you that?
No.
No. Okay. Well, my teacher didn't tell me that neither. But this was like the main statement a lot of men started making to me. And I'm thinking to myself, you know, that's not a deterrent from getting a woman pregnant. If you really don't want to get a woman pregnant, you don't have sex. Okay? So the other part of that is I started meeting men who had the mentality, not only the mentality, but also stating this, well, as long as I'm wearing a condom, I'm good. I mean, if she becomes pregnant, I'm not become, but if I impregnate her and she decides to have this child, that's on her, because I practice safe sex. Do you hear how distorted that sounds?
Yeah, that sounds crazy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're
it sounds absolutely crazy, because, like,
right.
You know, no form of contraception is obviously 100% foolproof. And so one of the things and stuff, everything, like, I feel like, you know, it's a really great book for, you know, younger women, because you encourage women to talk with men that they are dating about the possibility of becoming a parent if they're engaging in sexual relations. So what are some of the signs that women can look for that illustrate they're dating a potential deadbeat?
let's say, for example, a woman who meets a man who's dating or who has multiple children with multiple women. Okay, that's a big warning sign. Now, if he comes out and says, "Well, I'm really not taking care of children because me and the mom is not getting along," so on and so forth, that's a big warning sign. Because who's to say that all of a sudden he's going to have this incredible metamorphosis if he impregnates you? And then you have another man who is what I call 30 going on 15. This is a man that shows incredible levels of immaturity. And in order to be a parent, you have to be mature. You have to have a level of maturity and understanding that once you become your life, a parent rather, once you become a parent, your life is not your own. Another warning signal, I would have to say, is someone who is someone who's more like a mama's boy, someone who does not think for himself and is just kind of dependent on mama. Okay, it's kind of like the movie Baby Boy.
Right.
Movie Baby Boy, where it's like, you have this big strapping dude, and he's like, yeah, he was a mama's boy. I mean, he just didn't know when to leave. So those are just a few of the warning signs I would encourage women to look into, and there are more, in the book.
Yeah, right. And you list 10 reasons for women to read the book. And I was really impressed by some of the statistics that you list, because some that really stood out to me are that 4 out of 10 children are born to unwed mothers, and 25% don't receive any child support. And then single mothers are statistically more likely to be murdered by their children's father, and the poverty rate is 39.6% in 2013 for single mother families. So you did a lot of research and stuff, everything, why aren't these, more talked about? Because you really don't hear anyone talking about. Actually, you hear a more of a advocacy and stuff, everything for single parent households, as opposed to people who want to keep the nuclear family together.
Right. I don't know. Um, I wish I had the answer for that, but maybe I started coming across a lot of articles of single mothers that were being murdered by their children's fathers. And they were involved primarily in child support related cases. So what I want single dating women to understand is that you have women losing their lives to men who obviously did not see the value of their lives going past in terms of all the parental conflicts that they were having. And that's the reason why it's very important to pay attention to these signs before they become intimate with a man. And that's the bottom line, is when you see these warning signs that say, okay, well, I don't know if we should proceed and go on to a physical relationship. And I just want to add one other thing. I started getting a lot of calls from men involved in these child support cases where they would say, well, Mr. Legette, she asked for $300 a month. And I would tell them, I said, take that deal, because you don't want the system in your business.
Right.
You don't want the system in your family business. And on top of that, I said, you're probably going to have to pay more if she initiates child support. Long story short, they didn't listen. So these men will call me back and say, well, Mr. Legette, she initiated a court case, and instead of $300 a month, they ordered me to pay $650 a month. So now you have men who are very, very angry because a lot of those men can't afford to pay that $600 a month. So in the book, I point out one particular horrendous story of a man who drives all the way from Texas to California, which is a 2,000-mile drive, okay? Gets to California, and he shoots the mother of his 3 children in the head and kills her, okay? Why? Because he felt he was paying too much in child support. So in order to avoid a problem that is causing people to lose their lives, you have to become aware of what's happening to that population of people. And then you have to become empowered, and you have to put in those preventive mechanisms so you won't one day become part of that particular situation.
Do you think in your experience, because like, you know, the court system has been like, you know, I think it's perception that it's unfair towards men. Is that the case?
That is partly the case. But I started doing this program 20 years ago. So things have gotten a lot better towards fathers. Um, Now it's more so, I don't want to say it's balanced. I would say it's a lot more balanced up north. I'm in the South right now. I'm in North Carolina, and it's horrible down here. But up north, particularly in New York City, it's a little bit more balanced. You know, men have a voice. So it's all about men trying to empower and become better educated on their paternal rights and knowing how to prepare for certain types of cases. So it has gotten better over the past 20 years. I have to say that it has.
You talk about men knowing their paternal rights and stuff, everything, and that was going to be my next question. You know, what is some advice for men who are trying to be involved in their child's life, or even feel they are more of a fit custodial parent?
My advice to them, and again, is every case is different. I would start with whatever case that you're involved in. Let's just say visitation. If he wants visitation rights, there's a wealth of information online that explains to you what visitation rights is, the process on how to get your visitation rights. What I try to advise, what I advise to fathers over the years, and I just was working with a father a couple of weeks ago who wants custody of his son. You want to get maybe 5 character references, people that know you, people that have observed you with your son or your daughter. Have them write a character reference and notarize it for the court. That's one way. Another way is to develop a plan. Courts love when a man comes in with a plan of action. He's listing the nearest school, the nearest hospital. He has 5 emergency contacts. He's showing pictures of the room where his son or daughter is going to stay. When you do things like that, the court looks at you as a man and says, wait a minute, this man is very serious about his role as a dad. So these are little tidbits that I've given the fathers over the past 20 years, where a lot of men have, fortunately, have enjoyed a lot of success.
That's amazing and stuff, everything. Where can people check out your book and, you know, what's going on with you and stuff online?
Okay, my book is available on Amazon.com, and I also have what they call a book landing page. It's 10warningsigns.net, and a company has partnered with me where if anyone purchases the book, they could become a member of this particular program. It gives discounts on rental cars, hotels, just about everything that you can name. It's a discount. So anyone who purchases the book, I give them the corporate name, and they will have access to all of those discounts. And I'm planning on doing something for women as far as like a short seminar, and we're gonna be talking about how to protect themselves in the future from these types of men, and I'm working on that now, and that'll be advertised on my book landing page.
Okay, definitely.